so. Senator Markey.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Senator Nelson, the dawn of a new era. It's great. Congratulations. You know, the fact is that we have a device like this, but we had to pass laws to make it possible. Because, believe me, AT&T, there were two companies, two licenses. It was analog, cost 50 cents a minute. You didn't own one of these things in 1994, believe me. You had to change the laws to have the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh company get in. The government had to say, let them in. Okay, so we did that, government. Okay, so all these things all come from policies that we created. I was there. I was chairman over in the House of the Telecommunications Committee. This stuff didn't exist. So you need a policy. You've got to say, how much competition do we want? How much will consumers benefit from it? How much more investment will go in if more companies can get in? That's always the test. And so let's just go to 2013. In 2013, in America, 62% of all venture capital in America in 2013 went to software companies and internet companies, the new companies, companies whose names you don't know. 62% of all venture capital in America. Why? Because they believe that they have access to an open internet. They're the Google, eBay, Amazons of this era, because without the laws in the 90s, these companies, you don't have Mr. Meisler sitting here. He's not famous. You got to open it up. The big companies don't innovate that way. They innovate in the pipeline, but they don't innovate in new products, new services. They just don't do that. Okay? So that's our big challenge here. And that's why companies like Dwolla, Etsy, all the coolest companies of today, companies that are the Googles and eBays of today, they want Title II. They want protection. They want to be able to go to the venture capital market and get the capital because they can say, we don't have to worry that we're going to have access to our customers. That's what this is all about, creating that open, entrepreneurial, chaotic, paranoia-inducing Darwinian marketplace. That's what we have in America. We have to protect it. We have to protect it. And we have to protect everyone else as well. So you agree, Mr. Kimmelman, that Dwolla, Etsy, all those companies, hundreds of them are in jeopardy if we don't give them the full Title II protection. Do you agree with that?
I agree completely. I think they're counting on that, and they're counting on the predictability of there not being discriminatory practices and a meaningful enforcement mechanism. And that's what draws capital to them. That's what makes them invest.
But let's go to universal service. Will the draft before us today guarantee a protection of universal service for all Americans?
Senator, only if you're looking at old-fashioned telephone service. I think if you're looking for investment in broadband and you're looking for making it more affordable, as drafted, it does not reach
How
that.
about senior citizens protections? Would that be protected?
Not for broadband, Senator.
How about guaranteeing that rural America is served? Would that be guaranteed?
Not for broadband, as I read it, Senator Markey.
How about accessibility for the deaf and the blind? I'm the author of almost every telecommunications law mandating accessibility for the deaf and the blind in America. And by the way, all these devices are now accessible because of that. Would that be protected? Could that be advanced?
No, Senator, only for telephone service, not
Okay,
broadband.
thank you. Now, let's go to privacy on the internet. Would privacy be protected? Would there be, under this formulation, would the FCC be able to move in order to protect the privacy of Americans?
Senator, as I read it, the customer proprietary network information protections are all entitled to. They're for telecommunications service, so not broadband unless it is considered a telecommunications service.
Thank you. And so we've got all of these things that are there that right now everyone is used to, everyone believes is going to be a part of the future. But if we don't move to Title II, we don't get them, and under the draft that we have right now, they're not there. And so this is a big debate that we have to have in our country, especially when the chief financial officer of Verizon says that it won't affect their investment strategy at all if Title II is used. That's Verizon. But it will affect Dwolla, Etsy, hundreds of smaller companies who are the innovative companies. They're the ones that change. They're the ones that are branded Made in America. Today we're Google and Hulu and YouTube, but there's a whole new generation coming up 10 years from now whose names we're going to know. Only if we keep it open and they can reach the capital markets and then reach customers on a non-discriminatory basis. And so that's a huge challenge for us here in the committee to get it right, Mr. Chairman, to make sure that this free flow of capital that's now going out of the venture capital firms into the new software and internet companies is not inhibited. That we don't create uncertainty for these companies that are really the heartbeat of what it is, that young people all across the country are are saying that they want. Network neutrality is just a fancy word for non-discrimination. And in the same way that the Civil Rights Act says non-discrimination in schools and counters for people to go and be served, same thing is true over here. Network neutrality is just a fancy word of saying that anybody can get in, anyone can compete, anyone can innovate. And we have to protect that in America, because that is what has happened over the last 20 years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.